Hi everyone, welcome to Adli's Asia's Initiates interview series. We are very delighted to be collaborating with Energy Investment Management BV to organize this upcoming interview series with young energy professionals from the Indonesian Energy Transition Network. Let's welcome Mr. Adli Renhoren as he will share with you more about Energy Investment Management BV and the Indonesian Energy Transition Network. He will also be giving us some hints on what the upcoming interviews will look like. Hi, Adli. Thank you for joining our interview. So, can you
Uh-huh.
tell us more about yourself?
Okay, so my name is Adli Renhoren. I'm an Indonesian. I was born and raised in Indonesia, but at the moment I am working for Energy Investment Management BV. It is a company coming from the Netherlands, focusing on project development and investment management advisory. And at the moment, most of our business has been conducted in Western European, particularly in the Netherlands. But one thing led to another. Our directors particularly interested in some other areas, especially with Southeast Asia, and more specifically in Indonesia, because a lot of reason. For one thing, the economic development before coronavirus, and then the other thing is also because the unique landscape as well as the he saw a lot of opportunity to expand in Indonesia. So yeah, what I did at the company, I work as an investment advisor, where I advise about specific potential investment. But also, I am for Indonesian case, I am responsible to help deploy previous research that we've been conducted in the Netherlands, and we are interested to expand this research and deploy it to Indonesian case.
Okay. Thank you, Ali. So, what is the reason behind the interest of energy investment management in Indonesia?
Mhm. So yeah, I already mentioned to you briefly about this. One reason is the economic development. They are very impressed. At the moment, Indonesia is growing quite high, BC before Corona, and also we are and yeah, with this growing economy, it's also can be translated as huge potential for energy demand, for the growing energy demand. And the growing energy demand itself can be translated into a potential for investment and also for project development. And this is another reason, one of the reason why the company very interested with Indonesia. Another reason is that Indonesia is the largest archipelago country in the world. We have more than 10,000 islands here, meaning that the success story that already developed in developed nations such as the US, Europe or China, we cannot completely implement the success story into an Indonesian case because, for example, we cannot have huge grid connected because we are not continent. We got thousands of islands, so we have to be a little bit innovative with the grid itself, and also from the power sector, we have to find a way to make it decentralized. Another necessity to think is that about the climate change itself. I mean, Indonesia is among the country who take a pledge to commit about raising the share of renewable energy into the share of the national energy mix. And yeah, this commitment is something that we really need to consider, especially when we want to think about how sustainable energy play an important role for the economic development, especially after coronavirus crisis.
Now we are here to talk about the Indonesian Energy Transition Network. So, what is the story behind this network?
So yeah, to tell you the story, we have to go back into 2 or 3 years ago, where the company where I'm working is just started. So at the moment, the Netherlands, the company is based on the Netherlands, and there's a lot of Indonesian students who go to the Netherlands for master degree or for PhD or for MBA, and a lot of Indonesian students actually they built a very interesting network, and that's when we see. I think the majority of the students want to study about energy related subject, and our founder would be very impressed, not only with the willingness of their student, but also from the entrepreneurial spirit of this student. And so initially we only start a formal dinner, a networking dinner for each of the student or young professional who start the job in the Netherlands. And then, one thing led to another. We make it on a consistent basis. And what start from a networking dinner turns into something we want to take it into more seriously. I mean, there's with Indonesian case, there will coming a bonus demography, I think, in the coming years, and to ensure that this bonus demography can be effectively transformed into, let's say, whether from entrepreneurial spirit perspective or the professional perspective, I think it's really important to build a synergic network, and that's where we think the network where our company started is really play a critical role. I mean, it's not only a place where people can exchange ideas, but also where people can synergize with their work or with their research or with their business proposal, something like that.
Thank
So
you.
I would like also to add that the series, in the coming series, there will be Q&A with some of the network, some coming from the Indonesian government, some coming from the multinational organization, also from startups, private sector, and some even work for specifically for organization who will challenge about energy access to remote part of Indonesia. So there's a huge story with these interesting professionals, and I'm excited to see where these young professionals will share their perspective about their work.
Okay, thank you. What do you think it takes to accelerate energy transition, and particularly in Indonesian case?
Uh-huh. So as I mentioned, the thing with Indonesian landscape is very unique. I mean, we have thousands of islands, but at the same time, it also comes with huge potential. I mean, if you want to talk about geothermal, hydropower, solar, biomass, or even some less mature energy like marine energy, Indonesia has a lot of potential coming from this energy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, according to Indonesian government, we only realize about 2% from its potential. I mean, this is a very underrated energy in terms of energy sources. So there's a lot of potential. At the same time, we want to mention about climate. We want to tackle climate change, like I mentioned to you previously, and we want also to help with universal electricity access for 250 million Indonesian. So while we're working through this unique landscape, I think to meet the transition to cleaner and more sustainable energy sources, the innovation will clearly play a huge role to meet this challenge. I mean, people usually talks about regulatory reform or how to attract foreign investment. I think these are a very important factor. But coming from the youth perspective, it is innovation, something that we can really offer, so that we can really want to make a huge contribution for Indonesia to help its energy transition.
From your opinion, what is required to optimize innovation, particularly in Indonesian clean energy sector?
Yeah, I think the case with innovation is that I read an article a couple of days ago that the talent is everywhere, but not the opportunity. So I think what we really can consider is that it is true that I read a report, I think, that say that Jakarta is considered as one of the hottest spot for the next big thing in startups. It is judging from the access to capital, access to talent, and also access to the market. But at the same time, these innovations are really to be maintained properly, so that let's say if one person in some area knows a lot of things about this problem, and another people from developed countries or from major cities like Jakarta or Singapore know about, hey, I have a technology that I think can help a solution. It's the how to build this connection. I mean, from people who deeply work on important issues like energy access or energy transition, and also people who have access to technology, and also people who have access to the market. I think it's important to maintain this network of each of these innovator properly, to have a really output that we would really love to see, especially in energy transition.
How do you think the younger generation could contribute to accelerating energy transition in Indonesia and Southeast Asia?
Uh-huh. So I think for from my experience, clearly you can, from younger generation, you can help if you work directly into energy transition, whether it's in a company or in organization or in the government. But I think for more to know more, this is what this story about the whole interview. I mean, the whole interview, the other episode of the interview, there will be people who is working at the government, at the multinational organization, at startups, at industry, at organization with to provide energy access in rural area. I think it's very these young professionals are not only have a lot of ambitious goals in their professional lives, but also interesting vision about what the energy transition can be in Indonesian case. So yeah, I think to answer this question, it would be best if we watch the other episode, the coming episode. I would highly recommend it. And so after that, maybe we can form bit by bit about the answer, and maybe by the end of the series, we can have a complete understanding about what can younger generation do to contribute for energy transition in Indonesia.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ali, for joining us today.
Thank you to Joey.